Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Wednesday afternoon, November 18th. We're looking at the last 4 days of the SPY ETF's market profile here on Window Trader. And what a turn of events today in not only the SPY, but the Russell as a lackluster day. And we're saying in the trading room, do not get lulled. We were 8 for 8 wide, only to absolutely flush out. We had a chance for 3 sets of single prints. Now, SPY held 2 cents worth of single prints. So we had a trend day hold. ES did not. But basically where L's high is, which you could use then as an afternoon rally high in ES, I'm not using that since the single prints are really right at around the same price. So either way, you could either use J's high for the singles in SPY, L's high in ES for an afternoon rally high. We go out with a pretty big price probe as we make a new low on the day. A lot of little nuances throughout the day and things that we have to carry forward. Number one, we have a poor high in SPY and the ES. Number two, we have 3 highs within $1 of each other, or a little bit over $1. So that's something that's of a target. Number 3, we could not lower the fairest price to do business. That doesn't mean we're going to get there, and it doesn't mean I wanted to be long, just because I thought we were going to get back there. But that is a nuance that you can't just totally ignore. We've seen that in the past, and then we finally get back up to it. We are flushing even harder here in the after hours. Now, the question was this just week longs getting out from all morning and then shorts piling in? I think that was the case, at least in IJ, K, and L. Now, did M become something more? Possibly could have, because now not only were you at the low of a 3-day balance, you made a new low here in M period and got firmly accepted into this 4-day balance. So now not only were you having shorts pushed down, anybody who was still long from these 3 days also started getting out. And that cascaded the flush out. We had some really good volume in M period. Even though the overall volume is still only 60.5 million, or average around 77, we did do, almost 14 million shares in M period. So the volume was pretty good. Again, I think that's a case of more shorts piling on, and now longs from the 3 days getting out. We have some excellent calls in the trading room. Really, it's not just me on the mic. I mean, it's me on the mic, but people typing and telling their feelings. We had one of our traders in the room. I'll go over my trades in a minute. I got very fortunate that L period let me have a really good trade from the long side. And as soon as I got out of that trade on the long side, we had a trader take a short in L period and rode it all the way down. I also took a short in M period, did not ride it all the way down. Took a short in M when we took out J's low, went higher, but then rode it down to the price probe. Didn't think we were going to go all the way down and get the afternoon pullback from the 13th, but we did. As far as the other ones, look what happened in the Russell today. They're making new all-time high, only to go out with a trend day down, a price probe down, and they took back the entire trend day from yesterday. So that's a pretty crappy way to end the day for the Russell. However, they are still one-time framing up in the daily. Now, actually they're not. I take that back. That was an outside day up yesterday. I guess you could call it one-time framing up because it was an outside day up. But from all intents and purposes, you could call this a nice 3-day balance with a price probe and a trend day down. Triple Qs, balance. They look like they were going to take out their high in L, only to come and make a new low on the day in M, and now continue to flush. So these short-term traders and short-term algos can turn this market on a dime. This isn't long-term players, but these short-term players can really move the market pretty good. As far as my trades, I had a pretty quiet morning. I did take a short play in A. We got above the opening a bit. We got to M's high. I said maybe that's all they want, and it was the 362 puts. Came back down below the opening. It turned out to be a decent trade. Did nothing in B. C period, I actually took a long when we took out B's high, thinking we were going to take out A's high. We never did. We had a poor high there, and A and C came below the opening. I got out for a small loss. I took a long in G period, thinking we were going to go back to POC after we were going back and forth, right? C and D went up, E went down, F went up, G went down. Took a long, just a small one back to point of control, which made money. So I wasn't having, it was far from anything spectacular. Again, in H, I took a long thinking we were going to go back to point of control. Lost small on that because we did get there. It was afterwards when we came back down. I thought we would hold A's low. Didn't happen. Now, then the market started flushing. H, I, J. Didn't get on. Should have gotten on. Didn't. What I did do was in K period. When K period opened, I took a short, thinking we were going to go down and take out the overnight low in ES. SPY had gotten theirs. I'm sorry, I take that back. SPY had not gotten theirs, neither did ES. I'm like, well, we filled the single prints, but I thought we would have at least one more flush to get the overnights. It was 2 days in a row we hadn't gotten either overnight high or low at this point. Well, I took the short, added to it. I did not want to use J's low high as my out. I thought that was too much heat. So what happened? I got out of it and took a decent size loss. Now, technically, did anything tell me to get out of that short? Absolutely not, because we were one time framing down. But I didn't want to go all the way up and take it off at J's high and take a much bigger loss. So then L opened. Once L didn't take out K's high and push down, now I got cute. Believe me, I made on it, but I got lucky. We were still one time framing down. I took a call play. I thought maybe we're going to finally go out and take out K's high and added size when we had the poor low. I wanted to see if we had taken out the day's low, if we would have come back in. Again, I still thought at that point we still had a chance possibly getting back to POC. Well, I was on 200 calls. Fortunately, L did decide to stop the one-time framing up because it came all the way back, and I got back what I lost on the put in K and took everything off. Right, we popped K's high, started taking some off as soon as we got back to around K's high, took the rest off. So financial-wise, it was very rewarding. Was it the right trade? No. Yes, we stopped the one-time framing down, but we got nothing for it. Now, it was good trade location. I didn't buy it up here. If I had bought it up here and we just popped the top and came down, I would have gotten crushed. So I kind of knew my out. If we took out the low and got acceleration like this, I'm out. So fortunate that didn't happen. And then in M period, it opened, took out the day's low, came back in. I'm like, we're going to go get we got our overnight. ES didn't. I took the short. They got their overnight, took small off, took the rest off at the price probe. Did not expect this to really flush the way it did. So it turned out to be a good day. Although mental reserve-wise, got used up a lot because technically that short I had in K was actually the right trade all along. As far as destinations for tomorrow, we go out with a sizable price probe. That is J's low. Price spike, price probe, whatever you want to call it. Of 358.67. We closed at 356.12. So $2.50 below J's low. Then above that, we have single prints. Again, ES can use L's high as an afternoon rally high. I'm using the single prints, 360.16 to 17. They're only 2 cents. So basically, you can call this almost a triple distribution day for me. From H's low to the day's high. From J's high to J's low, basically, and then a probe. Because nothing changed if you can't get back into J's range. Above that, we have today's poor high of 361.50, 361.92 daily high, and 362.59 daily high. So we have 3 highs within $1.09 of each other. And one of them is poor. And we had an 8-wide POC that never got lowered. Just keep that in mind. For the downside, we have today's low of 356.24. Then we have these daily lows, 354.71, 351.26, and the weekly low of 350.51. That would be the bottom of the other 4-day balance. Now, let's get to the charts. Monthly, 4-month balance. For now, we're below September's previous all-time high, but the more important one for me is the inside month up. Right? You want to stay above that. You don't want to see that fail. So still balance. Weekly, still calling it up. We have 2 days to go in a week. Unless we take out last week's low, I will call it up, even if it's an inside week. And that would make for something very interesting next week going into the holiday week. And then the daily. Now here's where markets become visual, but also subjective. Balances are subjective. There's no firm rule. You could use a 3-day balance, or you can now incorporate a 7-day balance, or you can incorporate the whole thing from last Monday's high as a really large balance. Initially, I was going to say just a 3-day balance, but the fact that we just kept pushing late and we closed at our low, and right now we're trading even lower than where we closed, I'm just going to call this balance. Again, we did get acceptance. Now, one day doesn't make a market, but we are inside of this 4-day balance. So unless we get back above 358.90, so for all intents and purposes, unless we get back above the previous all-time high and stay above it, we're accepted into this balance here. And what's the ultimate goal once you get acceptance into another balance? The bottom of it. So 350.51. So I don't think the buyers want to take out today's low and go any lower tomorrow, because if you do, then the next target is that weekly low. Hope you had a good day trading. Have a great night, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.